Another year around the sun. Still standing. Still healing. Still breaking chains they said would never fall. They wanted silence. But tonight, we celebrate truth. My birthday, but I'm thinking about the pain too. Thinking about the cycles that our people gotta break through. Mama cried quietly, daddy held rage. Whole family smiling while they bleeding backstage. Taraji screaming out where the sisters at. Everybody press like but won't risk a contract. Hollywood clap when the camera's on bright, but ain't nobody standing in the boardroom fight. That silence loud. Yeah, I heard every whisper. Support in public, but disappear quicker. Solidarity ain't words you tweet for applause. Sometimes real love gotta violate comfort law.
While we keep carrying pain we don't heal, while we keep hiding wounds we still feel. Everybody dancing while the house still burns. If we don't face the lesson then the cycle returns. Stir up the trauma on your name. We survive the fire and the rain, but survival ain't enough if we stay the same. Break these chains. Let the bloodline free the pain. Speak the truth even when it stings, cause what you don't transform.
Dr. Umar got the internet sparking, talking culture vultures while the whole room watching. Love the beat but ignore where the pain from. Everybody love the culture till the struggle come. DJ Khaled yell another one. But who gon' stand when the bullets come? Who gon' march when the cameras leave? Who gon' care when the mothers grieve? Influence without accountability dangerous. Corporate love for the culture get transactional. Everybody wanna rap black pain in a cadence, but disappear when the neighborhood needs saving. Say it louder. Mindset freedom costs a heavy price. Walked away from labels just to save a life. 16 years independent with the masses own. Sometimes peace mean building all alone. Everybody chasing trends for attention spans, but ownership the only thing that truly stands. Can't sell your soul just to chart for a week, then wake up one day not recognizing me. Iyanla said them demons ain't always spirits. Sometimes they trauma nobody wanna hear with it. Abandonment, violence, addiction, shame, passed through generations just wearing different names. Roland asking, who's checking on our men? Who lets them cry without judging them? Shreveport broke the soul of the nation. 8 little angels lost to desperation. Mental health ain't weakness, it's survival. Pain ignored turns deadly on arrival. You can't bury her deep inside the chest, then act surprised when it manifests.
Quake been shine, just the birth, the resurrection flame. No more hiding brokenness and shames, and then we turn it on the labor fame. Quake been shine, we done carried inherited pain. Tell the truth and reclaim your name, cause what you don't transform.
Yeah. Another year older, another year wiser, another year refusing to pass pain down to the next generation. This ain't just a birthday broadcast, it's a reset.
Break these chains.
Break these chains.
Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Golden. I'm back with another live, y'all. Yeah, we got a few things we want to get into, y'all, with some celebrity tea that I was seeing. So we'll talk about that, and then I had some more videos that I wanted to show you guys. From a part two from yesterday, with the conversation between Alanya and Roland Martin. So we'll be getting into all that. I gotta do it real quickly because I got an appointment I gotta go to after I'm done. And so yeah, so it's about 1:20 p.m. here Eastern time in the United States, in the Carolinas. And child, it is raining outside, so y'all know what that means. I do not like the rain, and so it is a pretty nasty day out, but it's a blessed day, nevertheless, right? And today, yes, does actually happen to be my birthday. So yeah, I'll have a few things that I'll be doing later when I get back in from taking my son to the doctor. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do this live real quick, y'all, while I got the time to do it. So yes, 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 it is officially my birthday. And I am grateful to be here, right, with another year of life and another year of health and another year of being able to share this space with all of you. But we aren't just celebrating me today, we're just celebrating growth and the courage to speak the truth. Um, and we have a pretty decent show lined up, right? So we're going to be on this live. Looking at a little bit of some more conversation from Taraji P. Henson, and she's demanding more from her peers. There also, remember, was from yesterday, I didn't get to, that heated debate between DL Hughley and Killer Mike. We'll have to get into that, and that's wrapped around some political stances. And we also will hear some necessary, very, very heavy, necessary healing work conversations between Iyanla Vanzant and Roland Martin, and a few more. So let's go ahead and dive right into it, y'all. A lot of these videos and these reports are pretty short, but we'll do it pretty quickly. So as far as Taraji P. Henson, she has shifted her focus from the big bosses to her own peers. She recently called out high-profile celebrities for their silence regarding pay disparity and the mistreatment of Black women in Hollywood. She expressed her frustrations that while many like her post that she posts up, few are willing to stand beside her in boardrooms and use their mouths, to bring awareness to these situations or use their collective leverage to demand a systemic change. So she is calling them out, y'all. And I feel like, the moral of the story when it comes to that is solidarity is not a verb, it's not a like button. True change requires the powerful to risk their own comfort for the collective good of all. And then again, we're going to get into Dr. Umar Johnson. Well, he had some things to say about DJ Khaled and this whole culture vulture critique. So Dr. Umar Johnson ignited a firestorm by labeling DJ Khaled a culture vulture. Dr. Umar argues that Khaled has built an empire off the backs of Black hip hop culture while remaining silent on specific struggles like police reform or systemic poverty. He insists that those who profit from the vibe of the culture owe a debt to the advocacy, to the people who created that said culture. So for me, I think the moral of the story when it comes to that is influence without accountability is exploitation. You cannot love the rhythm but ignore the blues. Maya, very beautiful, very beautiful. Still looking like she did back in the day, y'all. 16 years of creative freedom. So R&B icon Maya did sit down with the Breakfast Club to discuss her 16-year journey as an independent artist. She detailed the peace that comes with owning her own masters and the power of creative autonomy. Maya highlighted how she walked away from major labels to ensure her music remained authentic to her spirit rather than chasing trends. And I feel like the moral of the story when it comes to that is independence is expensive, but the price of your soul is higher. Ownership is the only way to ensure your legacy remains your own. When we're talking about DL Hughley versus Killer Mike and the switching up debate, DL Hughley addressed Killer Mike's recent political commentary following the Voting Rights Act decision, accusing him of being a political contrarian. Hughley challenged Mike to look the actual results of the policies rather than the optics of access to high level politicians. So the moral of the story for that for me is political access is useless if it comes at the cost of political progress. Don't let a seat at the table make you forget why you went to the kitchen in the first place. We also got to talk about Kid Cudi and how he kicked MIA off tour. And again, this is wrapped around political stance as well. So apparently, Kid Cudi removed MIA from his tour after she went on a pro MAGA rant on stage, identifying as a brown Republican voter and making disparaging remarks. Cudi stated he wouldn't allow his tour to be a platform where rhetoric that makes his fans feel unsafe or disrespected. So he kicked her out. The moral of the story, yes, your freedom of speech does not grant you freedom from consequences, especially when your platform is provided by someone else's brand. We'll also, like I said, be finishing up some healing stories. And so we'll have to talk about Iyanla Vanzant breaking down generational curses. So Iyanla Vanzant, again, joined Roland Martin to discuss the demons we pass down through family trees. She argued that generational curses are actually patterns of behavior and unaddressed traumas. There's a conversation around that, and there's another conversation as well. She challenged the community to name the pain so that they can finally be transformed rather than transmitted. So the moral of the story for me when it comes to that is healing is the only way to stop the past from stealing the future. What you don't transform, eventually you will transmit. And then we are going to get into a conversation also with Iyanla Vanzant and Roland Martin around the Shreveport tragedy. The demons were just too strong, in Iyanla Vanzant's words. So addressing the horrific tragedy in Shreveport, where a father unalived 8 of his own children, Iyanla Vanzant offered a somber perspective on the hopelessness crisis. She and Roland discussed the lack of safe spaces for Black men to be vulnerable and how a total psychological collapse can lead to the unimaginable violence that we currently see and consistently see. The moral of this story for me is mental health is a community emergency. When we ignore the quiet pain of our brothers, the resulting tragedy of that can affect us all. So let's go ahead, y'all, and real quickly get into some of these videos. And like I said, they're very quick clips, right? And then y'all can hear directly what they were discussing, and then we can have some commentary on it about how we think or we feel. If you guys decide to want to join in or whatnot, that's up to you. But let's go ahead and get into our very first video. So this is from, and this was some audio that was reported on the Ricky Smiley show. And I believe Gary with the T is covering this. And Taraji P had a few things to say, calling out some of her other female peers within the Hollywood sector when it comes to the pay disparages that a lot of female actresses are experiencing, especially predominantly Black. So let's go ahead and get it real quick. Give me just a second. I'm going to get this up on the screen for y'all. This is Gary with the T. We're going to listen to the audio only, okay? So give me just a moment. All right, there we go. Let's go back to the beginning. Oh, and I got some really good conversation I want to play for y'all as well on another live with Jennifer Lewis. Y'all know I love me some Jennifer Lewis. But let's get into it. I'm going to meet y'all in the chat.
5 minutes after the hour, Gary has the tea and the cologne of the day. Gary, good morning to you.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, America. Good morning to you. It's Tuesday, a beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood. And here's what's happening in celebrity news, y'all. Taraji P. Henson, baby. This girl done called out all the celebrities, honey, who attended the Met Gala, y'all, on last evening, y'all. Now, they say that Taraji P. Henson is among the celebrities that she skipped the Met Gala costume ball in New York. Now, they say Taraji made an appearance last year at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. They say she was also, honey, attending the 2015 and 2021 one. But they say she will not be, and she was not at last night's The Empire actress, confused by celebrities who were attending, y'all, the event last night. Now, they say Taraji had responded to a viral post by Meredith Lynch, y'all, who wrote on Instagram, if you are a celebrity and you attend the Met Gala and you wear the Ice Out pin, please know that I will be dragging you in perpetuity. How you say it? Perpetuity.
Perpetuity.
Yeah, all right, girl. I got it, baby. Miss Perpetuity.
Good job, Gary.
Yes. Now they say you cannot wear the ice out pin, honey, to the Jeff Bezos back Met Gala. Now she blamed Bezos, y'all, for being part of the reason why we're in this up mess. They're saying. Now Taraji responded in the comments, quote, I'm so confused by some people that are going. I'm just like, what the hell are we doing? Now, some of the people, y'all, who are going to the Met Gala included, y'all, Miss Kim Kardashian and her mama, Kris Jenner, Miss Beyonce, Serena, and Venus Williams, Rihanna, Tiana Taylor, and many more. Now, they said celebrities who were skipping the Met Gala included, y'all, Zendaya, Meryl Streep, and Bella Hadid, y'all, who liked Lynch's viral Instagram post. Now, Amazon founder, y'all, Jeff Bezos contributed $10 million, y'all, to the 2026 Met Gala. For that, y'all, a lot of people say that's a lot of money. But, honey, who cares and who thinks about all that? They say Bezos and his beautiful wife, Miss Lauren Sanchez, y'all, are co-chairs of the gala. And they're saying that the other co-chairs were, of course, Anna Wintour and you knew Beyonce, Nicole Kidman, and Venus Williams. Now, the New York City activists plastered posters, y'all, near the Metropolitan Museum are urging people to boycott the Bezos Met Gala. Now, some posters read, Bezos Met Gala brought to you by the firm that powers ICE. Who is ICE, Alfredo?
ICE, that's immigration. They're, Amazon provides the tech services to U.S. immigration enforcement. That's ICE. And yeah.
People
so
upset about it. Then
they
say,
are.
They say due to inflation, they say the individual tickets, honey, to the Met Gala only was $100,000, up from last year's cost of $75,000. Now they're saying the tables were selling for around $350,000. They're saying, but however, few celebrities y'all actually paid for their own tickets. Now they're saying A-listers, which we talked about, this paid nothing to attend the Met Gala. And corporations, including OpenAir, Meta, and Snapchat, y'all will sponsor the celebrities. So it's interesting, and we gotta talk about this. So.
Well, another thing people were doing is protesters were going to have fake urine in bottles because they say that Amazon, their warehouse workers are overworked and sometimes they have to urinate in their bottles because they don't have time to go to the bathroom, go to the restroom and use the restroom. So, there were protesters out there with fake
damn
urine.
Scientology people, man.
Yeah, something though, but honey, it's something.
That's
but
crazy.
But it went on last night, and Beyonce was there in her glory with little blue ivy, and Jay-Z was there in his Louis Vuitton tux, and people were looking amazing. So I guess they didn't pay no attention to honey last
We're going to have
night.
to have the black version of the Met Gala.
Yeah, we should.
What we gonna call it?
Nice.
Come up with a name for it.
Yeah.
Bet Gala. The black. Oh no, there's already BT. Never mind. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Carry on.
Sorry,
My bad.
But anyway, we need to create one though. Here.
Sorry.
Right.
So we can keep working on that, honey.
You have your own gala, Gary.
That's right, honey. So, It's the Gary Gala.
Oh,
I like
Gary.
the
Gary Gala.
No, not gay.
Take the R off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Moving on. Another celebrity news, y'all. Oh, y'all, let's all say happy birthday, y'all. It's been reported.
All right, y'all. So I just want to go ahead and play that real quick. It was going into another topic. And so Taraji, and let me just go ahead and wrap this all up in a big bow as far as what is happening here. Taraji is saying that supporting a event like the Met Gala, knowing that one of the biggest high dollar funders of that type of event and probably additional others are the same big funders that are behind a lot of our political shifts and changes that are making things very difficult and taking away the serious programs and services that help aid and assist in many urban or predominantly Black communities and households. And so she sees that it's very contradictory that a lot of these Black celebrities are attending these type of functions still, knowing that these functions are now all incorporated, it seems like, with the same type of individuals that really don't care about people that look like them. No matter how fancy the dresses or the outfits look like, they really don't care about that class or that group of people because they equally invest their money and make decisions within politics and the government structure that are affecting and hurting and harming individuals within that community. So Taraji is saying, despite the fact that we're celebrities, we may have, a decent amount of money and stuff like that, there are other people within the community that may not be in our predicament. in our space and have the amount of money we have, and the things that these people are standing by, backing and investing and pouring their donations into are the very things that are dismantling the comfortability structures when it comes to urban or Black communities and their well-being. And so she didn't see the reason why so many Black celebrities were not seeing that or paying attention to that, and they decided to still want to attend these type of events, knowing the people that they're around vote against their people's best interest. If that makes sense, y'all. I'm trying to break this stuff down real quick. What's up, Star? Thank you, baby. Thank you for that. Yeah, girl, it's my birthday, child. I'm gonna be like Blanche up in here. I ain't 35, I'm 31. Okay, I'm 31. But anyway, so that's that. So now we gotta move along, right? Because I'm trying to get through this real quick because I gotta get dressed and I gotta go and take my son to the dentist on my birthday. Crazy work, but it is what it is. So the next video, y'all, that I'm gonna play for y'all. This is Dr. Umar, and he's calling out DJ Khaled. He's talking about some culture vulture energy here. Now, we can't be sure. Everybody has their own opinion when it comes to that, and I know it's a touchy subject. But he did have some really, I think, things that he said that made a lot of sense to me. So, we'll see. We'll see what he has to say. Let's listen to it together, and then we'll talk about our thoughts and feelings on it. If anyone cares to share their thoughts and feelings, let me get this up on the stage for y'all. Let me skip these ads. Give me just a second. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. All right. Skip, pause, and put it up. All right. So again, we'll be listening to the audio from this one as well. Let me see. Where is this? Yeah, we'll listen to the audio to this one. Okay. So let's hear what Dr. Umar had to say within this conversation about DJ Khaled and his discussion around culture vultures. And y'all let me know, do y'all agree? Does that make people feel a certain type of way? Do you disagree? Whatever your thoughts and feelings and opinions is on this type of stuff, y'all can be welcome to talk to me about it. You will not be attacked for it. If you disagree, disagree. If you agree, you agree. Let's listen. All right, I'll meet you on the chat.
Backtrack to a comment you made earlier. You called DJ Khaled a culture vulture?
Yes, sir. And we might have spoke on this before. What is my definition of culture vulture? People who benefit themselves from Black culture and do not lend themselves to supporting the struggles of Black people. That's Eminem, that's Khaled, that's Vlad, that's Justin Timberlake, whoever you want to name. If you have made a relatively decent living off of Black culture, and yet you have never at all, in any consistent, relevant, or meaningful way, participated in the everyday struggle of Black people, you are a culture vulture. And like I always say, Brother Art, everybody wants Black people's rhythm, and nobody wants our blues. Everybody wants to have fun with Black culture until it's time to fight white supremacy. And and I'm going to say this with respect to the Palestinian people, because my wish is for them to receive justice. I don't like the genocide that's taking place over there. But one thing I would have to ask the Palestinian people are, respectfully, why are they expecting so many Black people to stand up and fight for Palestine when they have not yet held DJ Khaled accountable at all? And I could be wrong, Art. Maybe they have. I haven't seen anything anywhere where the Palestinian people are condemning DJ Khaled for not saying one thing in support of what's happening to his people over there at the hands of the Israeli Zionists. I haven't heard anything. But yet they are all over the internet bullying and harassing Black celebrities, Black organizers, Black influencers, Black scholars, including myself, I've been harassed and called racially derogatory names by Palestinians in my inbox for not being vocal about the Palestinian movement, when here's a Palestinian American in DJ Khaled. This man is a multi-millionaire. He's done nothing for the Palestinian people with regard to this crisis. And I haven't heard the Palestinians say one word. So to me, if they are not holding him accountable, giving him a pass as a Palestinian, but you expecting black people to fight for you, but DJ Khaled, one of your own, doesn't have to, that is complete hypocrisy. If it's true, that is complete hypocrisy. And I'll say what I always say, Art. I wish well for the Palestinian people. But if you think I'm crying Palestinian tears before I cry Congolese tears, if you think I'm crying Palestinian tears before I cry Haitian tears, if you think I'm crying Palestinian tears before I cry Sudanese tears and South Sudanese tears and Ethiopian tears and Somali tears, I ain't crying for nobody until Africa and African people are free. Because those people don't cry for us. I ain't seen nothing in Palestine for Congo. I ain't seen nothing in Palestine for Somalia. I ain't seen nothing in Palestine for Haiti or Ethiopia. But we supposed to cry for you. Black people better stop being the protest slaves of every other group. I am sick and tired of black people being the automatic protest slaves for every other group. We are expected to fight for everybody else, and nobody is expected to fight for us. So I want to make it clear to red people, yellow people, brown people, white people, I want what's best for you, but don't come to me asking for no support beyond moral support. If there's any crying from Dr. Umar, it will be done for Africa and African people only until we are free.
So you don't like DJ Khaled? You feel like he's a kosher vulture? Oh, who else do you got an issue with where you feel like they are kosher vulture?
I mean, I don't have anything personal with any of them. Everything for me is political. I don't really follow white artists. You know, I know Vlad because I interviewed once on his show. I know Khaled because he's kind of out there a little bit. You can see him. Eminem, obviously, because you got so many rappers who think he's Black Jesus to them, right? You know, Justin Timberlake because he's well known. But, you know, I don't have anything personal against them guys. I could shake their hand and have a conversation, but you're a culture vulture. What have you done for my race from whom you've taken so much?
All right. Well, that was a loaded conversation. And I guess a lot of people may be a little bit confused, possibly, as to, why Dr. Umar's, calling out DJ Khaled, as far as like, and we can't say this, we have to be so careful of the things we talk about and how we say and who we talk about, the groups of people we talk about. But when it's coming to this genocide stuff that is happening, he was calling out DJ Khaled for that. He's also calling out DJ Khaled and many others for being culture vulture leeches. Like, you want to leech off of the style, you want to leech off of the rhythm, you want to leech off of, like the culture. But when the people that actually, you may even be friends with or connect with, that live within that culture are going through some type of, like fight or, issue, especially when it comes to politically, right? These people don't tend to stand on the side of us, right? It's always going to be individual. And I get, when it comes to politics, a lot of people engage and base their choices politically on their own basic needs and necessities. We get that, like when it comes to, political things. But we're talking about people who have major influence, people who have, money and connections and, relationships with other individuals that may even have more money and connections, where they can actually bring some type of change or awareness to certain things that are happening within the Black community, to Black people or urban people. Black and brown people. And so, the question he is saying is like, you like the party, you like to have the swag and the style, But when the blues come and it's time to get on the front lines, these people are nowhere to be found. And that is what he's defining as a culture vulture. So a little bit of background real quick about DJ Khaled. So when it comes to his family background, it says basically, reportedly, allegedly, that DJ Khaled, born Khaled Muhammad Khalid, is Palestinian American who was born in New Orleans to Palestinian immigrant parents. So his parents are from Palestine. They're immigrants here in America. So in his bloodline, he is Palestinian. And what Dr. Umar was calling him out for is everything that we've seen going on in Palestine and how those people have been treated. There's not been one not time that we've seen DJ Khaled speak out, bring any awareness, or stand up against any of the genocide or the horrors that we've been seeing happening in that area, right? So specific origins when it comes to him. His mother was born in Ramallah and his father in Al Mazra Ash. Sharquiwa. I'm going to butcher these names. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm going to butcher these names and these pronunciations of these words. But they both were musicians who played traditional Arabic music while he was growing up. Now, his public identity, while that is his culture and his bloodline that he comes from, he frequently references his royal and Godhead and branding, and historically embraces, Palestinian heritage in his memoir and earlier interviews in his life. However, as he got more incorporated into the music industry, it's like that kind of got washed off of the table, and now he's embedded himself into other people's cultures and music and sound and all of those things. So this is the argument they have with DJ Khaled. So the criticism of his silence, despite having over 45 million social media followers, critics argue that Khaled has remained very largely silent as we have been seeing the tragedies that have been happening at the hands of genocide and the unaliving toll in Gaza, as it has surpassed 60,000 individuals and lives as of early 2026, right? So we can talk about, his cousin, who is Fadi Muslat, and she calls him out, publicly slammed him in 2025, stating that Khaled chose money and fame over his people. Muslat noted that while Khaled supports movements like Black Lives Matter, his silence on the genocide in Palestine shows his true colors of, what it is he's doing and what side, he chooses to take and what's more important to him. So then we had Dave Chappelle that also roasted him during a 2025 performance in Abu Dhabi. Chappelle famously roasted Khaled, calling him the only, oh my goodness, plus-size Palestinian on earth. Now, that's not my words. That was Dave Chappelle's words. While others in Palestine that are going through what they're going through are starving. So Chappelle questioned how someone of his background could remain awfully quiet during such humanitarian crisis within a area, and I'll say area, that, his family is from, right? That runs through his blood. You know what I mean? And you see that this is happening to your people from like your homeland where your family is from. Now, yes, he was not born there. He was born in America because his family, his parents are immigrants here in America, but these are still your people. And all of this is happening to your people from, where your parents is from, where they were born and raised. If they was never born and raised there, then there would be no you. So it's like you don't care or have anything to say about what's happening to those people because it's not right. And there's so many of us, Dr. Umar was saying, because a lot of African American people or Black people, however it is you want to see us as, we understand the struggle when we see it because it's the same struggle that we've seen our people go through. So when we see any other group of people go through it, we have a compassion for that, and we will hop out and windmill and protest and march and try to, bring awareness and support those people in their time of need, because we understand what it's like, or our ancestors have taught us and trickled down to us what it's like to go through those type of things, right? So we'll do that. But even people that are even from that land, like from that area, they won't even do that for their own people. And so that's what Dr. Umar is calling out, that we as Black, African American, or African people, like, will hop up real quick and fight other people's battles when it comes to injustices. A lot of these people, they won't even fight their own battles for injustices, nor will they fight or stand beside us when we have to fight our battles against injustices. So let's talk about the culture vulture label. The silence has fueled the culture vulture narrative mentioned by figures like Dr. Umar Johnson. The argument is that Khaled profits immensely from Black culture and his own people, the Palestinian people, identity when it's profitable, but avoids the debt of the advocacy when those communities face existential threat, right? And they're at, in chaos. There's nothing to be said. We can't be sure. Now, this is allegedly from Dr. Umar. I don't know what people do that we don't know about. Maybe that man is trying to help and aid in some type of way. His people, we can't be sure. That doesn't always get publicized. So I will not stand out here on the brink and say that he has not done anything. But when it comes to the spotlight and him being in the public eye, it just, we're not getting, that level of conversation and, advocacy from him that I guess we feel like we need to see. But what people do behind closed doors is what they do behind closed doors. But then I often question that. Why do you feel like you have to do it in secret, right? It should be something you should be proud to do. But anyway, the moral often highlighted by his critics is that influence without accountability is exploitation, right? That is what Dr. Umar says. That is what he thinks, and that is what he feels. I don't know how y'all think and feel about that. If y'all put two and two together, do y'all think that's true? And not just when it comes to DJ Khaled, but overall, like, do we see a pattern of this? And one of the other things that Dr. Umar said that I do believe to be true is that Black people, African American people, African people, whatever, right? We do tend to stand on the front lines to fight a lot of other people's battles and discretions, right? We windmill for so many other people because we are very loving people. We are very much equipped to know how to fight because we've had to fight like almost our whole lives, right? No matter what generation you come from, in some point in time, your life and your experience of life is going to come with a fight and a battle, right? Because of the sole fact that you're Black, right? So we know how to fight. We're very equipped to do so. And when we see injustices happening to other people, our heartstrings get pulled on because we don't like that. We understand what that's like. We have seen it. Our ancestors have told us stories. We've watched the timepieces. We know what that's like, right? And we hate to see that happening to any other group of people because we've experienced it as a group of people. So we'll step out on the front lines to fight for others. But when it comes to a lot of things that we, have to fight against and that we are up against, what Dr. Umar saying is just, it seems like there's some, not all, but some, and I guess you could do percentage wise, that there's just not a large percent of individuals that really care when we have to fight and when we're going through something. And, terrible things are happening to us. People don't want to step out on the front lines to fight in our honor, but we step out on the front lines to fight in the honor of a lot of other groups and people when we see that they're also going through things that are similar to that what our ancestors went through and what a lot of us deal with. So that's the argument that he has. But anyway, y'all, moving right along, let's get into Maya. And Maya is going to be over there on the Breakfast Club, and she's going to be talking about her creative freedom. She's going to be talking about how she had to get up out of the music industry and become an independent artist and do a lot of things on her own. And no, it's not always affordable to do that. It's expensive to do things independently and on your own because you don't have this big machine behind you funding you and pushing you and backing you. You have to do everything for yourself, right? So she's going to be talking about a bit of that and some of her experiences she had within the industry that she has been open to speak about previously on other platforms as well. So let's listen to a little bit of what Maya has to say. And oh my God, Maya is beautiful. She is gorgeous. I just got to go ahead and say that. And it's because I feel like her spirit is right. I think like she lives a clean life. Like Maya literally looks like, and she was beautiful back then, right? And a lot of times, sometimes people don't understand age will make you even beautiful, more beautiful. A lot of people think age is going to take beauty away from you. A lot of time, age gives you more beauty. But I don't know what the girl is doing. I want to know her regimen because I'm gonna tell you right now, Maya is gorgeous, and she looks just like better even than she looked when she was young. And we know Maya was that girl, and she was really fine back in the day. And Maya is super fine right now. And this is in her later years of life. But let's listen to maybe how she got to that point. So let me go ahead and play this audio, and I'll meet y'all in the chat.
We was listening to the album and I instantly got Prince.
Yeah.
So it's like that was totally intentional.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
the Minneapolis sound.
Absolutely.
I've worked
Mhm.
with
You hear it.
Jam and Lewis before, performed with Prince before.
What was that like?
It was beautiful. I got to see him 2 nights in a row at the O2 in London, and he had a lot of artists join him on that run. And I learned a lot just by being there for 2 nights. There was a jam session, of course, afterward at the Indigo. And of course, the conversation about independency, the first conversation. I'd met him before that, but he was a big advocate of empowerment, no sampling, playing an instrument, all of those things, and then really investing in your craft. And they were gems that were dropped. See, I'm not Prince, and I started this independent journey very early before it was a thing.
Planet 9
And
Records.
Planet 9 is my label. And I didn't necessarily know what it was all about when I stepped into that new territory. And he was the person that was the voice of reason that sort of kept me on that path.
It's interesting because you said this is your first studio album in 8 years. It makes me think, were you protecting your piece or protecting your artistry?
Honestly, I was really just having a ball, experiencing what it is to create from a real, free, pure place. It wasn't even protection. It got very addictive when I went independent because I had the freedom to create whatever genre with no ceiling I wanted to, the timeline I set, no deadlines. I didn't have to focus on charting or numbers and validate myself based on someone else's definition of success and all that pressure that does come from the major label system. And the investment I knew was going to be very boutique, and very startup, under the radar, because I started in Japan on my very first few releases. And so it was really fun because I didn't have all those rules and, of course, the criticism that comes with releasing a full body of work over me. But that was the time to get acclimated to what this independent journey was about, do it in a very under the radar situation, in a one territory release here and there, mixtapes, EPs along the way. And then something magical happens. Your relationships are built, the process because of that education and practice. And then you show up and you put together an album, throw it out just for the love. It gets nominated for a Grammy. And then it's additional confirmation to keep going. And Prince always said, I will help you if you stay independent. And there's been so many times you want to throw in the towel, questioning self. Is this really worth it? Do I need to go back into the system? And all of these things, because it is very hard. And you have to be very relentless and resilient in your grind, especially when you're financing 100% of it. And then sometimes people don't even know it exists. So you're also getting, oh, you're washed up, or you fell off. Oh, how come you don't make music anymore and nobody's paying attention? So to answer your question, there's been so many times that question mark has popped up, but I don't measure success in the way I used to when I was in the system, because there's a new definition that's been introduced to me. My sanity is kept, my spirit's intact. I'm literally having more fun now in my 40s than I was as a teenager, just kind of trying to figure it out, in understanding that, if it doesn't reach a certain number or a chart position, then you can be canceled. You can leave. You can be shelved. And I love music so much. I think I've protected just the love of the art, not intentionally, but that's what Prince was always talking about. And that's what he was an advocate for those he thought or maybe saw a little spark of love and passion in, so that they could preserve their art, themselves, and still work in the business.
You said nobody's judging but you now. Does that come from the independence? Like
Yes,
that
it comes from both places. The independency has allowed me to create from that space of freedom where there's no number that I have to meet, there's no sale, there's no first week pressure. I just want it out in the universe, and that's success for me. Like, hey, enjoy it. I might not be here tomorrow. We never know when our last breath is. But the fact that I've birthed something and I just put it out for those to enjoy, whoever's ready to receive it, wants to receive it, stumbles upon it, word of mouth is shared with, that's success, And then to bring it to the stage is like the cherry on top for me because I love to perform. And if my dad likes it, because I always play it for him, being a musician, is he satisfied with it? Those are some good ears back here.
Yeah.
And, I'm not really fearful also because of my womanhood. And there are a lot of lessons that I've learned along the way, even just as a songwriter, some gems, practice I've had. And it's a wonderful journey to just kind of be refined and step out fearlessly. That's the era that Maya's in now.
A lot of fans, when they have conversations about your career, they always talk about how like your fourth album was like either was delayed or like the release wasn't as big as fans feel like it should have been.
Yeah.
And they feel like that was unfair to you, and that's why certain things didn't happen for you afterward. How did you feel about that time period of your life?
It's so interesting looking back at that time. So when I mentioned Interscope,
Yes.
the series of events go like this: Hawk Islam, signed to an independent label. They invest in you. Demos were shopped to several different labels. Interscope said yes, but it's still a maybe. Second album, I got signed to Interscope officially. Did another album. Third album was Mood Ring, 2003. Did a tour, all that. I start wanting to record my fourth album, and the budget was closed. And they're still recouping. A lot was spent making that third album with Ron Fair, and I didn't have management at that time. So I'm now kind of in a transition where I got to either put up my own money, and I started to do that. And it was like a lot of money. Every week I was spending in studios.
How much?
20,000.
Oh, wow.
Over the course of 2 weeks. I said, this is ignorant. What I'm going to do is go home. I'm going to build a studio. I'm going to build a rehearsal space. But I'm also going to purchase a house so I can have living, take care of family, but also cast a crew that's based from my hometown, that's hungry, that's thirsty, provide opportunities, start a foundation, because something doesn't feel right living in LA. Something is missing. And I was out there by myself. So I just decided to sit with self for a minute and figure out, what it is I want to do. And that's actually what I did. I started studying outer space DVDs because I finally got the chance, which was a blessing, to sit down. Went to the library, got a library card, and that's how Planet 9 was birthed. By being in this state of self, like insignificance, but also significance at the same time. We all exist in this very blink of an eye moment, right? On this little ball amongst trillions and trillions, infinite universes.
But you're connected to all of that, though.
Connected to all of that.
God created all of that, and He created you.
Yeah. And then what does your world look like? You're no longer a part of that world. It's time for you to build your own from the ground up. And it was so spiritual for me. And things just started happening when I finally just made the decision and got out of my funk that I had to prove something to others. And it still stays with you, of course. To just learn the lessons that this was trying to teach me. But I also took myself to where music inspired me. My great-grandmother's name was Alberta Davis. And at 4 years old, I knew I wanted to sing when I heard her sing. My dad is also a singer. And at Kengard Baptist Church in Kensington, Maryland, I witnessed something, but I also felt something. It was so undeniable when I heard her sing in her tenor voice. She had a very deep voice in the Baptist church. I took myself in 2007 to go study disciples class. And I went to the altar. Just so happens the same day that I go to church to just receive a word, I'm just spiritually called to that altar. It was the 80th anniversary of that church that I didn't even know my great great grandmother, Carrie Davis, founded.
Wow.
And that's the same place that I was moved musically through gospel music.
That was the ancestors.
And I didn't know what a recording artist was. I just
Right.
knew that music is in my blood, it's in my veins. I'm on an assignment to do music. And that was my source of everything. And everything has just been so aligned since then because that's always where I pull from.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget that I don't walk alone. It's in this record, Retrospect, all face to face. So I just go back to my roots, my foundational roots, which is Black music, but also the core of everything. And American music is Black music. And that's what this project is rooted in. So that helps me always get out of any funk when the world is judging you. Just to go back and retreat to the time that you fell in love and were spiritually moved where you couldn't even articulate it at the time. And that's how I pick me back up and keep going.
I was watching your interview with Gina Views, and she was talking Best of Me.
Yeah.
She didn't know Best of Me Part 2 was a remix to the original.
With Jadakiss.
Yeah, I
Jadakiss.
didn't know that either.
You didn't know that either?
No, I didn't.
They're younger. They're like,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know. I knew.
But you know, they all people thought back then that's when Jada and Jay-Z were going back and forth.
Really?
And they always used to say that Jay did that because he wanted to one up Jadakiss because the
Do they
record-
have beef?
back then they were going back and
I
forth.
didn't know
Absolutely.
that.
So
I didn't even know that.
I love that you did.
She was all in her own she was in her
removed.
world.
I love that.
Her
for you.
own world.
I love me some Maya, y'all. But I love the fact that you hear just right there that conversation where she said she was in a song or did a project, you know, with a song for a remix that other individuals had whatever their intentions were, right, to do that. And she's saying, like, I was just doing the project. I was just working with the people. I didn't know what their reason was for doing that. I had no idea that those things was going on. I didn't. And so that's how sometimes you can see you become like in the middle of things that you have no idea about what other people's intentions and stuff are. You may not know what their intentions are. You're just there. You're working. You're doing what you do. You're kicking it. You're doing what you do. What other people's intentions are to have you around or showcase you or do a project with you, sometimes it can be allegedly because, you know, that's something that they want to do because it's going to look a certain type of way, right? And it's a setup. If you ask me, I think it's a setup, but they use you for these type of setups, and you don't know what's going on. You're just doing your you know, your music, working and collaborating with other artists. And the main reason you wanted to do a collaboration with me is so you could get back at a certain other person. Like, that's crazy. But you live and you learn. And when you're young and, you know, or you're naive to certain things and not aware on how certain things move and operate, you may not always know that, right? Like, you don't know what people are doing. You just kind of caught up in it. This happens. Look, she talked about this happened to her in the music industry with one of the biggest records that many of us probably enjoy to this day, right? And she didn't know how everything went down during that time or why, the purpose for it. So I think that's really interesting to listen to. Let's keep going, y'all. I don't even think I'm going to be able to get through half of some of this content or these other stories. We'll finish hers, and I don't know which one is the shortest. I'll find the next second shortest one, and we'll do that one. And then after that, I'll have to come back and do a part 2 maybe a little bit later this evening because I got to go take my son to a doctor's appointment. So let's keep going. We'll be right back.
I thought it was just a remix.
So
It's not a
how
remix.
did that come about? I heard you telling the story, but you
Wow.
were Swiss, and how did the
Yeah.
remix come about?
So I was in the midst of recording my second album. I did a lot of it in New York,
Mhm.
and worked with Wyclef. Got in with Swiss. I've always loved Swiss's rhythm
Mhm.
on his tracks, and he was playing me some beats. I had Jimmy Cozier there, Teron Beale, Rashonda was there. I picked a specific beat. He was like, "Oh no, 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 that belongs to DMX."
That beat, the bap, 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 bap.
Oh no. Original featuring Jadakiss.
Okay, yeah.
Best of Me original mix featuring Jadakiss, Swiss Beats produced. That was his very first R&B record that he'd ever produced, but it belonged to DMX. The actual beat, there was another song over top of it that I didn't hear, but I think he stumbled upon it by accident. And I said, "Oh, rewind that real quick." And so I said, "I want to write to that one." And Jimmy Cozier and I, Jimmy Cozier.
Jimmy Cozier is an R&B artist. I don't know if you youngins don't know that.
I did know.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
J Records, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're all in the studio. Jimmy Cozier, Teron Beal, Mashonda, and I. And we just come up with a concept, what we wanted to feel like. And that's how Best of Me Part 1 was born. It was a solo song first. It might have had a bridge on it. We took the bridge off and put Jadakiss on it because we decided that that would be my very first street single. What they do, or what they consider street singles to be, is to warm up, the streets first before you go with your pop hit. And so Steve Stout had all these relationships and had Jay-Z hop on the remix, because of his relationship with him. And Makeda Davis, wrote the remix here at the Hit Factory in New York. Then Jay and I are shooting the video in Malibu, California. June Ambrose shows up with a jersey. I didn't think anything of it. It was, I guess, customized to fit my measurements at the time. And that was that. That was the shortest video set I'd ever been on. 6 hours total, including hair, makeup, glam time. And then we were done. No choreography, no rehearsals. And then it comes out and kind of like takes hold of the clubs and whatnot.
Oh, so she bought that, and June Ambrose bought that for you. You didn't even say, "Oh, this is what I want to wear." This. Oh yeah,
I showed up.
Definitely
No
inspired the
rehearsals.
whole era,
Didn't know what
girl.
we were doing.
Wow, a bunch of badly built.
Yeah, so
Carolina blue
But
kick
she,
out
so did he know? Because I know they've been working together forever.
Maybe they did. I wasn't a part of that process. I kind of just showed up, got glam ready. I was fighting to put dances in the video. I was like, "Hey, can we at least have 2 girls? And, I want to do a little dance or something." They're like, "No, we don't have time for that. The shoot is here. The shoot is then. And we just got to go and run with it before we miss the summer." And that's what it was.
How did that make you feel when you wanted to dance and it was like, nah.
If I could fit a little 1-2 step in there,
right,
here and there to give something more than just be cute, of course I will. But if the budget doesn't allow, or the time frame doesn't allow, then it might not happen. So I tried.
All right, y'all. So, that was a good conversation with Maya. This not the first one that she's had. She's had many interviews and conversations where she's expressed, a lot of the same things. But currently, this is her recently at the Breakfast Club and talking about, like her journey within the music industry and how it's been just such a excellent experience for her to become an independent artist. It wasn't easy at first. It cost a lot of money. There's a lot of things that goes into it, but she did it. She's doing excellent work. She looks amazing. And one of the main things that she says that she has is peace, right? That's what is most important is, when you can have your peace. And so yeah, a lot of artists are going independent. Let's go ahead and move right on to the next topic. We'll get into a little bit of this DL Hughley and Killer Mike. Let's see what they're talking about. Again, some of this stuff is wrapped around difference of political standpoint, and just some questions or whatnot, why people take the stances that they do, and then sometimes shift up and change. Can we shift up our stance that we take when it comes to our political standings? Yes, we can. But I think there's a deeper conversation to be had here. And this is why, I guess certain people are calling certain things out. So let's go ahead and listen to a little bit of this, y'all. This may be the last one for this live because I got to get ready to go at about 2:50. And so the other 3 topics, I don't know if I'll be able to get to them. The Kid Cudi and MIA. And then there's 2 more conversations with Iyanla Vanzant and Roland Martin that I wanted to play for you all. But I'll at least try to get through this one. All right, so here we go. Let me get this one up here for the audio. And we'll listen to that together. And y'all let me know what y'all think.
Reporting live from Micro's Club in Atlanta, Fight Plus News, I'm John Abba.
And I'm talking directly to you, Killer Mike. Your ass is tagged. Shut the fuck up. Because wasn't this your in 2024? Oh no, this is your ass again. Killer Mike says Kamala's race won't be a key in 2024. It's progressives for me. You one of the reasons why we in this shit.
Killer Mike is currently being checked across the internet for a new video he will share on his social pages, calling for people to vote ahead of the upcoming midterms and to further spread awareness on a recent Voting Rights Act decision.
Hey, what's up? Onyx Impact, Black Male Initiative. This is Killer Mike, also known as Michael Render. 1965 Voters' Rights Act just got gutted. They gutted it. They literally eviscerated it, and it's now trying to make it easier or allowed it to be easier for states to redraw district lines to annex those most in need out. This is not just Black people and African Americans. This is poor people. So based on where you are, the more poor people, they can chop you up. They can make sure you aren't voting on the behalf of the poor and the interest. They can make sure that it affects your schools. They can make sure it affects your jobs. They can make sure it affects every part of your life. So right now, you need to be putting pressure on our local politicians, the local municipalities not to do this. We need to be putting pressure to make sure that those like you and like your neighbors still have the ability to exercise the full constitutional rights of voting, and it being effectively not eviscerated and us being taken back to Jim Crow. So we're going to start the largest voter initiative possible this fall. We're going to get people out to the polls. We're going to beat up those midterms, and going forward, we're going to do more than just march and protest. We're going to go to the polls. We're going to change the people who are in office. We're going to get those laws back changed in favor of the people. This is Michael Render. Stay tuned. We're going to do something plot, plan, strategize, organize, and mobilize big next.
Now, for anyone that has paid attention to some of Mike's past remarks, it could appear that he was one of the few Black celebrities that would indirectly help Donald Trump secure another run in the White House. Many are calling out one of Mike's main stances of openly challenging Democratic nominee Kamala Harris by saying being Black doesn't guarantee the vote. In the time he would meet up with Trump loyalist Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia in 2024. So for some to see Mike now change his tone a bit after the Voting Rights Act would no longer be upheld as Trump sits in the White House, they believe Mike is partly to blame. D.L. Hughley and several people on social media would let the rapper know that it's too late now to switch things up. Under Mike's post of the now infamous video on Threads, Hughley would go on to directly reply with, "Wow, the vibe shift," and would continue his stance by sharing another comment that read, "I see all these Black people who are apoplectic about the Voter Rights Act, but you helped it happen. Miss me with that BS. Google don't forget, neither do I. Get the F out of here." Now, even though that message, unlike the previous one, was not directly addressed to Mike, many were going to assume that's who Hughley was calling out. As mentioned, several users would make sure that Mike was fully aware of being a part of the problem, despite now trying to appear that he's a part of the solution.
And I'm talking directly to you, Killer Mike. Your ass is tagged. So Killer Mike decided to post this shit on Threads. Americans, we've got work to do beyond the polls this year, no matter what. Plan, plot, strategize, organize, mobilize. Shut the because wasn't this your bitch ass in 2024? Oh no, this is your bitch ass again. Killer Mike says Kamala's race won't be a key in 2024. It's progressives for me. You one of the reasons why we in this shit. You with your fucking misogyny war could not see a Black woman who has been the most qualified person to run for the office be president. You couldn't see that shit. You wanted to play on her race instead of playing on her policy. You dumbass. You it up for us. It's Black men like you that need to sit the in the background and shut the up. Stop speaking. You are not a leader. Close your mouth and sit in the fucking back row.
Welcome to the party, Killer Mike. Ain't you the same Negro that says just because you Black, that don't guarantee your vote? Kind of late for this bullshit.
I'm telling you, those days are over. So many entertainers and famous people and athletes, actors, rappers, whatever. People sick of y'all. So Michael Santiago Render, nope, nobody want to hear from you.
As far as a response from Mike, on Monday, he would begin to respond to Hughley and others' claims. Over on his IG story, he would first share a photo of him fake crying at a well-known local strip club with the caption, I cried away the pain in at Blue Flame Lounge. While another IG story post would show a response he would give someone for calling him a sellout. Now, over on X, Mike would fire back with several different responses to defend himself against people's claims. While responding to a user for calling him out about meeting with Kemp, he would go on to say, "The governor race was in 2018. I supported Abrams. My meeting with Governor Kemp about jobs, trades, and more was 2020. You are an incredible liar and F nigga too. Stop lying, F nigga." Now, in response to that same user, Mike would send off another message to highlight that he has supported Black candidates in the past. Blacks I Help campaign and or win. Kasim Reed, Keisha Lambs Bottoms, Raphael Warner, Senator John Ossoff, white but good for Georgia, Miss Abrams Sue. To not like Mike is okay, to be a liar is not. Peace out, liar, face ass. Now, despite issuing this response to challenge claims, some of his previous interviews continue to surface online, showing that he may have been adding to the divide, which can be seen as helping Trump win previous elections.
Why didn't you support Hillary Clinton?
I just didn't believe in that leadership. I don't believe in the current leadership. So just your party needs to give me a better version of what you want to see. I didn't vote for Trump, but did we go to war under him?
No.
Was the economy better? What were the interest rates in the House when he was president?
Oh, the interest rates.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Why did you vote Hillary? Because I voted Bernie.
Well, yeah, but it got to a point where it was either going to be Hillary or...
Yeah, it gets to a point where I get the fine stripper or the fat stripper. If the fat stripper can't dance, I don't want the fat one.
Let's talk about it more in the comments below. Do you agree with Hughley and others that think some of Killer Mike's previous comments helped Trump secure his past elections, which has now allowed something like this recent change to the Voting Rights Act take place in the first place? And more directly, is Killer Mike on the wrong side of politics for Black people today? Stay today for the latest news in comedy, culture, and sports by subscribing here to our YouTube channel and follow Hype Plus across all social media.
All right, y'all. So, that's what's going on right now as far as when it comes to Killer Mike, and not just him. That's one about him, but there's a lot of other people that are being called out, for their stance as well. That was very much different before the election, and now that they see what's happening since the election, they kind of switching up and changing up, their thoughts and feelings and emotions about all of it. So, can people switch up? I mean, yeah, I think that they can. But, however, I do think like what these people are saying is right. A lot of their feelings that they had initially when it came to these elections and how they decided to vote can be possibly the, one vote closer as to why we're in this predicament, in our government right now in the United States and with this administration. Because a lot of these people I know is shameful to come out and admit or say, and it's really nobody's business, because I think that stuff should be confidential as far as who somebody votes for. But they do have websites where I think it doesn't show who you vote for, but I think it just shows if you voted or not, right? Like you can look that up about other people. I think that's crazy anyway, but they have these websites that let you dig into people's business. But anyway, the website allows you to see if the person voted or not, but I don't think it allows you to see who they voted for. Now, if they've been verbal about that, or if it's factual, evidence or proof out there who they voted for and who they were backing, supporting, donating to, and all of those things, and now we're here, right, going through the things we're going through with this administration, I guess it would be embarrassing for those people, right? Because they made the wrong decision, apparently. But, sometimes in life, we all make wrong decisions. And when we make those wrong decisions, sometimes, it's just like, what can you do? You got to just be like, hey, my bad. I thought that I was voting in the best interest, but I messed up. I screwed up. I shouldn't have done that. We have a lot of people that we're seeing, watching TikTok videos and social media platforms where a lot of people are coming out and they're just taking it on the chin. They're like, yo, yeah, I voted for him. Voted for him all of the times. And I'm a dummy. I shouldn't have done that. And that's all you can do. You take the accountability for it. We're here now. You know what I mean? We move forward the best way that we can when it comes to all of this stuff. So, it's a little bit crazy situation to deal with, right? How long or how mad can you be with someone because they made a poor decision? I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna get from that, because being mad at them is not gonna change our current administration, right? Like fussing them out and getting angry with them for voting in the way that they did or supporting, the candidate that they did. It's too late now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too late to change it. And I think it's too late to get mad. I think we should use our energy and, knowledge from these situations and make sure that the next time around we don't make the same mistakes a second time, right? Like, learn from this and move forward from that. But anyway, y'all, that is let me see how long this video is. Give me a second, because child, I got to get up out of here in a minute. Let me see. It's fine. May not be too long. If it's not too long, I might can squeeze it in. 7 minutes. Do I got 7 minutes? Let me see. I might have 7 minutes. Let's go ahead and try to squeeze it in real quick. So let's get into this Kid Cudi and MIA situation real quick. So apparently Kid Cudi had kicked MIA off of his tour because she is a pro MAGA. So let's go ahead and listen to a little bit of that, and then we'll end it after this. Okay, we'll do the audio as well, and I'll be right back.
Here's MIA for a pro-Republican GOP rant. And MIA is like, I can't believe I'm being penalized for being brown and Republican. It ain't that. Here it is.
Can't do illegal. That some of you could be in the audience. All right, I'm illegal. Half of my team are not here because they didn't get the visa. Okay, I want you to know that.
Man, miss, because you got booed as the catalyst was because of what you said. But put it up, full mass. So Kid Cudi announced that he has now fired that person as one of his openers on his tour over a pro-Republican rant, part of which you listened to. Now, the move comes after a viral rant where she made this rant on May 2nd during a Dallas date where she was booed during a monologue. Now, she's not there to provide monologues, okay? Now, I'm going to explain to you, MIA, why you got fired. It's not because of your pro-Republican stance or your rant per se, all right? So you gave a monologue in which you included lines like, quote, I've been canceled for many reasons. I never thought I would be canceled for being a brown Republican voter, end quote. She also said, quote, I can't do illegal, though some of you could be in the audience, end quote. Her words were first amplified by social media posts via Reddit. Now, she has turned this festive concert into a political controversy. She provides a monologue when she is supposed to provide entertainment. She doesn't check in with Kid Cudi, who's in charge of this whole outfit, before she does any of this, which is disrespectful to such a degree. Now, Cudi announced her departure from the tour on May 4th via Instagram, where he wrote, quote, tour update. MIA is no longer on this tour. I told my management to send a notice to her team before we started tour that I didn't want anything offensive. He said, before we started the tour, I didn't want anything offensive at my shows because I already knew what time it was. And I was assured things were understood. After the last couple shows, I've been flooded with messages from fans that were upset by her rants. This, to me, is very disappointing. and I won't have someone on my tour making offensive remarks that upset my fan base. Thank you for understanding. That's it. She hit back. Now keep in mind, she's the opener for him. Okay? He's in charge of the tour. According to him, we had an agreement because he already knew what was up. So he has an agreement. This is clear cut. This is just basic respect at this point. Okay? According to him, this agreement is violated by the controversy of these comments and the monologue. His fans are upset. You are there because of his fans. He is there for his fans. His fans are there for him. Now, she hits back on X, okay, with a very long message. I got an excerpt. All right, we don't need the full message. Quote, I wrote Illegal in 2010. I played a song that had lyrics saying, F the law, which I still believe. If the law is unjust, F it. I wrote Borders and Illegal and Paper Planes before you thought immigrant rights were cool. I've had these battles by myself without the help of millions of fans backing me. Jesus returns to lead the world justly because there is injustice in this world. I'm proud of those who fight for it every day. God bless you. Yeah, Cuddy did the right thing. Her track record, despite being a citizen of the UK, MIA decided to publicly endorse Donald Trump ahead of the 2024 election. It was a marked shift for the rapper who openly criticized the Republican during his first term in office before embracing Trump. MIA dabbled in some anti-vaccine conspiracies around the height of the COVID pandemic back in 2010. In 2024, she launched her clothing line, which she claimed was designed to protect wearers' privacy, autonomy, and rights over their bodies and data by fending off 5G wireless signals with the clothes, finding the perfect niche to market the products. She appeared on conspiracy theorist Alex Jones' InfoWars to promote the 5G wireless signal blocking clothing line. If you just put some aluminum foil over your head, it does the same thing. Okay. All right. Sharing thoughts here.
Yeah, this was an easy call. Had to get it done. Had to deport her. She's got to go. Nobody was trying to hear that. Not under these circumstances, and not with where you exist versus where we exist. So bye. Thank you. Go MIA. Okay, we no longer need your services. None of it. Good call.
Kid Cudi created opportunity, had an agreement. Violate the agreement causes some controversy for no real, it's a made up controversy, right? She doesn't have to do this, right? I think he's a good guy for doing it, trying to make it work, but also bless him for being honorable to his audience. And
all right, y'all. So I don't know what y'all think about that, okay? A lot of people are very questionable around the fact that she made those type of remarks. And I think that's heavily due to the fact that her background, right? Like, her background is that her and her family, she was an immigrant. There was some citizenship questions that was going on when it comes to her. I think previously, because of the fact that she was an immigrant and not a citizen, she actually, in the past, when she first left the music industry scene, is because someone had her deported. That's what she spoke on. That's what she said, or that's what the people were saying, allegedly. She's had visa issues in the past. So she has had well-documented history of being denied entry visas to the U.S., reportedly due to her political stances and family history. There was some green card theories around her. Some critics suggest that her conversation to MAGA may be a tactical move to ensure she is not targeted for deportation or further visa issues under a pro-Trump administration. The theory is that by aligning with the president's platform, you're protecting your ability to remain in the country. So there's all of that, right? That's going on, and past history that probably not just Kid Cudi's fans, not just these people who are Kid Cudi's fans know about him, but that they know about her as well historically through, her position within the music industry, and some of the struggles that she faced when it comes to immigration. So a lot of people are very confused that she would take this stance against others who are being severely targeted right now when it comes to immigration. So for me, I think the tragedy is really seeing an artist who has built a legacy on giving a voice to the voiceless, seemingly using that same platform to target vulnerable groups, whether it's genuine political change or a move for self-preservation. The disconnect we see now has cost her a spot on one of the biggest tours that is happening at this time. So I don't know, y'all. Some people will argue that we should not penalize people for their political stance and thoughts and feelings and opinions. And I don't think people should necessarily be penalized for it, but I think it does raise an eyebrow, and it does make people side-eye you, and it does make people wonder where is your mental space and what is actually most important to you. Because if it is about the people, and you see how the overall administration is not really serving and helping the overall people as a unit in the best particular way, then it kind of comes off like it's just really about self-serving. You know what I mean? Like whatever your stances are, your vote is, and your thoughts and feelings and opinions and your speeches are, seems to be very self-serving. And you may be very performative, right? To get something, to get a favor, to get a pardon, to get a pass, to get a visa, to get citizenship, to get somebody, whatever it is you're trying to get. But it seems like, some of these people speak because there's something independently that they want to get out of it. And they know to get that, they got to rock with that side of the table. So I don't know, y'all. That's my personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I got to go to this appointment. So I'm going to go ahead and end this live, y'all. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Per usual, we'll end it with a bop. I'm going to come back and we'll do a separate live when we talk, and I'll put a little more of the clips together from Iyanla Vanzant and Roland Martin, which are excellent healing conversations, right? That I think you really need to, that could be useful for us to listen to and really break down and see those conversations, because I think a lot of people have them. They just might not have them out loud. But anyway, y'all, that's all I got on this one. I will see y'all later. Thank you all very much for joining. I ain't really doing no birthday party or celebration today or anything like that, y'all. It's a real regular birthday this year. So I'm going to take this one to the doctors, and when I come back, we're going to have some dinner, and then I'm going to go out tonight and kick it with my boo. And that's going to be it. But, yeah, I will talk to y'all soon. See y'all on the next one. Thank you all so much. Have a great, wonderful day. Golden out. Bye.
It's that reset energy. I had to pause. Look myself dead in the mirror. And listen. Lately. Lately I admit I've been moving out of line. Lick the anger on the timeline, start to cloud on my mind. Seen the clips, seen the lies. Yeah, I fire, but I let it burn too wild. Took me higher than required. I was speaking truth, but the tongue got lost. When the message turned rage, that's a dangerous cause. Started sounding like the noise that I claim I oppose. That's a war you don't win when you're losing your soul. Reflecting in the mirror like, who is that? That ain't discipline talk, that's so reckless, clap back. Had to check my spirit, had to humble my seat. Cause power ain't loud when it's truly elite. Sometimes the truth don't feel good when it land, but growth don't happen if you don't understand. Had to hear it, had to sit with this thing you can't hear, but you hide. That's a dangerous thing.
Now I'm taking it back. A queen on attack.
No, with anger, but with truth. Yeah, I'm leading with that.
Time to hit that reset.
Time to get back to me.
Time to get that reset.
Time to get back to me. I see the injustice. Yeah, I feel that pain. That fire in my chest, an imaginary flame. But if I let it consume me, then I lose my aim. Turn into the very spirit that I'm calling out by name. And that's fact. Had to sit with that truth. A warrior with no control, ain't protecting the youth. If the message get buried in the ego, I am pride. And the purpose gets lost while the mission just dies. We can't fight hate, moving fueled by hate. That's a cycle that repeats, that's a spiritual weight. Had to step back, recalibrate my stance. Cause reaction ain't power, it's just like a command. Yeah, I'm passionate. Yeah, I care. But passion without discipline, that's destruction. Had to own it, no excuses in sight. Can't blame the world if I'm losing the fight. Accountability heavy, but it's sharp in the blade. Every lesson I accept is another upgrade. You can't grow if you duck in the truth. Can't evolve if you stuck in your proof. Sometimes God send a message real clear, but you gotta be still just to actually hear. Mirror talk different when you're ready to choose. When you stop pointing fingers and you stay in your lane. Yeah, I feel that's the difference between growth and a permanent fall.
Now I'm taking it back. A queen on attack.
With a clear mind now, ain't no turning me back.
Time to hit that reset.
Time to get back to me.
Time to hit that reset.
Time to get back to me.
Now I'm taking it back. Now I'm taking it back.
Time to get that reset.
Now I'm taking it back.
Time to get back to me. It's a new day,
New discipline.
new discipline.
New spirit.
Not perfect.
We back.
We back, but wiser this time.